Good morning, team. Tim Tunnicliffe here on day 6 of the Great Rugger Run, and really short start to this morning's run. It's like half a kilometre from Llanelli Wanderers to where I am now, which is Furness United. And there's the pitch out over there. I said it was half a kilometre, managed to take a wrong turn and had to go back to the start, basically. So it turned out to be a kilometre. Not a great start to the day. Just a reminder at the start of this video, running 1 million meters for the My Name's Dolly Foundation, for the Forehead campaign, and the Freddie Crisp Trust, hoping to get a world free of MND as soon as we possibly can. Now then, just take a look at the size of this clubhouse from the outside. There we go. That's what we're looking at. Now bear that in mind as we come in and go and find some people to talk to, because this place is a bit of a TARDIS. Look at the size of this room. Absolutely enormous and just very warm. Lots of wood in here, which I like. We're going to go and find somebody who might be able to tell us a little bit about what's going on here. Hello, good sir. What's your name and what do you do here at the club?
My name's Jonathan Hyde. I'm chairman of Furness Rugby Club, and welcome and join us.
Thank you very much for welcoming me. Now, we're going to start with these shirts here. So let me just show the people the shirts. And then what are these shirts all about?
Well, basically, you've come to us in our 140-year celebration. We got a few things lined up now, dinners and planned. But yeah, it's the proud history of the club, 140 odd years now. So yeah, proud to be a Furness boy.
Good man, good man. Okay, and talking of the history, let's look at this wonderful thing here, which is just amazing. Tell me what this is all about.
Well, this was compiled a few years ago. It says in pictures a bit more interesting the history of the club, from our early conception in 1883 all the way through to 2019. Gives a list of main achievements that the club have had, personnel who have played for the club, and other clubs come in here and they see it and they say, well, we want a bit of that. So if we had £1 for every photo that's been taken of it, we'd be doing okay. But yeah, no, it's a focal point. People come in and they are interested to see what's happened in Furness over the years.
Definitely. And kind of the traditional way rugby clubs do it with just like racks of photos. It's not that accessible, is it?
We've tried to move on from that and make it a bit more pleasant. We try and hire the room out, so we want to make the room look pleasing to the eye as well, and also add a bit of interest to the community, so people come in and they can read about what's going on, because Furness is part of the community. So it's a nice thing to have.
Yeah, fabulous. Now, something I've literally just spotted now is a darts board on the stage up there. Are there darts competitions in here?
Well, yeah, we do get the finals and everything here, and we've hosted them for a few years, both men and female. So it's a popular night in the club. So and it's got good revenue in it for us as well. So yeah, we're proud to mix, and people like coming here. It's a nice atmosphere.
Saying, is it like it looks like on the telly?
Well,
crazy.
Well, yeah, there's a bit of that as well. I think the women are worse than the men, But yeah, no, the hospitality that the club offers, I think people do appreciate it. And the same on international days, this place is bouncing. If you don't get in here early enough, next best place to be up in Cardiff, people say, is the Furness Rugby Club on an international day. So yeah, we're proud of that. Proud of it.
Wonderful. Now, something else that caught my eye, and with all due respect, is this enormous pair of shorts up on the wall here. There's a signature on there. So could you tell me about this pair of shorts and the signature?
Donated to the club is Scott Cornell. The family have a proud tradition of playing and being associated with the club. Scott played a few games for us early doors. So other than playing for Llanelli, Wales, British Lions, Furness is one that we boast then that he played for us. And Gavin Cornell played for the club for the junior sections before moving on to better things down at Park of Scarlets. So yeah, the history of the Cornell family is linked to the club in quite a big way, So and one that we're proud of. Yeah, and besides that, Gareth Jenkins is on the board there. Somebody who came up when he finished his playing days at with the Scarlets, came up here for a few years and brought great success to the club. So and then he went back then, and the rest is history, where he coached the Scarlets and moved on then to the Welsh team. So yeah, very proud of Gareth. Excellent.
Now, tell me about these other bits of memorabilia up here. So we've got a Lions shirt
there that was signed by Stephen Jones and Dwayne Peel. So again, nice to have, the local boys have visited the club, as you say, it's something that we are proud of, to have those sort of memorabilia to, again, eye catchers really, and programs then for the Lions trip to South Africa. It all just makes up the, what shall I say, the ambience of the club, the ambience of the clubs. Yeah,
Exactly that.
we get that covered then. It's good.
Okay, let's go here because there's another board, and this has got just a bit more detail on it, I guess. So there's another board, very similar in some ways to the one over there. But what's this one?
This one is basically to celebrate the centenary of the club, and also at the time when we opened our new playing fields just outside the club. We were playing, as we call, under the wires, which is closer to Stradey Park. But we've had early days of the club, Furness used to play a lot down at Stradey, and then when Llanelli weren't playing at home, they used to play on the Stradey Park. But then as time evolves, Llanelli team got stronger. Furness then had to move and adapt, and hence then eventually Kai Castell is our recognised playing field, which is good. Only trouble is it's built on the old colliery, and every now and again we do get issues with water filling up through the shafts, and we do get the odd bubble or two, and then last minute cancellations of games, but few and far between, thank God.
Deal with that. Is there somebody you have to call to?
Well, Goal Authority have been very helpful over the years. They understand the issues and the problems. And we did have a bad one a few years ago where we ended up having to dig a hole and cap the shaft again because the top had actually rusted away, and run an overflow pipe off it to make sure it didn't come up onto the field. But those are all stories that get told in the bar. And as I say, it's you can't forget them. They happen, but it's a bit of fun at the time. Well, I say a bit of fun, we all sweat over it at the time, but it's a bit of a tall story to some.
Now then, these are very impressive here, and this is very much in the modern day. So what are these caps here for?
Again, this was introduced with a few of the lads. They saw the need to try and recognise boys' loyalty to the club. We had a life player life members scheme, but these days trying to keep boys interested in playing for one particular club is hard work. So the introduction of this, that they get 100, once they played 100 games, get a photo of the cap, certificate of their achievement, likewise at 200 games and 300 games. So, and we've had a couple of good nights here which have been organised by a few of the lads, and it's gone down well. So it's a great addition to recognising the players that have played for the club and the commitment that they make.
For sure. And do you make an event around the cap giving? And
we've had 2 or 3 sort of occasions here in the club. Buffet laid on for the boys, and it's a good social gathering, and gets a chance for the players as well to meet up and remember the good old days. Which, as you say, so it's an excellent evening for the club.
Amazing. Before I move on to Nick, is there anything else you wanted to add or say about the club at all?
No, it's just with like every other community club, we're very proud of what we offer the community. We got the girls Stradey Husbands hub that play out of the club. There's up to 250 girls that joined us a few years ago, and that's been a big success. We entertain Llanelli schoolboys. So, we open our doors to everybody. It's not just Furness Rugby Club. We like to think that we are community-based, and we support the community in that way. Good.
Wonderful stuff. Thank you so much. You're welcome. We're going to go and find another person to talk to through here, because this place keeps going and going and going. Now, which way was it? This way, towards Alan's bar. And we're going to go and find, in this lovely small little area here, I'm going to do a little turn just to show how small this area is, and welcome this man. What's your name, sir, and what do you do here?
Head coach of the first senior squad here. At Furness, been here for six and a bit years now.
So what's this area here? Where are we stood?
There's some might say this is where the magic happens, but no, this is the snug, or as some refer to as the cwtch. Small sort of intimate area where we do use it for a lot of sponsors before games and what have you. But it's an area where once all the sort of food and festivities have happened in the back room after game days, players, families will all come in here, just have a beer or two. If there's rugby on live sport on the TVs, watch a bit of live sport, get the jukebox cracking, and yeah.
How many people do you reckon you could fit in here?
I would say probably we've had 40, 50 in here, but extra seating brought in, of course, for them occasions. But no, it's
Room only.
yeah, and it's if you're lucky enough to get a seat on the outside, it's a bit like a pack of sardines, really. But it's all about club rugby, end of the day, having a good time, and yeah, we have some great nights in this spot.
It's a wonderful space. Now, something else I've just spotted here as well is this down on the bar, and I think I know the reason. But go ahead, tell me, what's the reason for the cherries?
Cherries. There's a couple of different stories regarding the cherries, but the team actually do play in cherry and white.
Yes.
I'm led to believe back before time was born, really. On the old railway track that runs behind the club here on the piece of land, there was actually a cherry tree orchard.
Right.
And that is from club historians, from what I'm led to believe is the start of the cherries. Started playing in cherry and white around the wartime or just beforehand, and the cherries has stuck. But yeah, it's a lot of people think it's to do with the colour of the jersey, which it is, the cherries, cherry and white, but it's to do with cherry trees that were here before this was even a club. So
Even a thing. Amazing. Yeah. Okay, so we're going to look at the bar now very quickly, and there's a reason for this. This is your beer. What's special about your beer here?
Well, our specialties on the other side.
Okay, I was referring to the pricing.
The pricing. We have been for a while one of the cheapest places in town to have a pint. I mean, obviously times have changed and what have you, but as far as rugby clubs go, we're quite proud of that. Prices are still very, very competitive and still very cheap, so something we pride ourselves on. And obviously the boys and the players
enjoy that as well.
Jump on the bandwagon a little bit, don't they? So
okay, let's wander through to the other room here, because there's even more in this clubhouse. We're not finished yet. Now then, where should we start? I think we should start with this wall, because I just love it. So I'll just show the people first. And what have we got here on this wall?
It's a display of past players who've gone on to have a couple of caps, honours, like an honours war, really. See Gareth Jenkins, ex-Scarlets, Welsh British Lion and Welsh coach as well. Adam Warren, who's just recently finished playing with the Dragons. He's doing a bit of his playing days up in Llandudno now. Jenkins brothers, very well known around the area. Yeah, we've had Quinnell's playing here as well.
We mentioned Scott next door here.
Yeah, Scott there. We got Gav Quinnell played a fair bit here as well. But it's just a nice wall to sort of commemorate and honour the players that have gone on to do some truly remarkable things in their rugby careers and for the local rugby community, you know.
Yeah, and I'm going to show it again because I just think it's really novel and beautifully done. Now then, where should we go next? Oh, can we show this as well? Because this, I've never seen anything it's quite a long way away. So I'm going to try and get close if I can, so you can see. There we go. What have we got up here?
This was actually donated to the club by a man called Terry Davis. He originated from Binya, I was led to believe, but this display here, there's only 3 ever been made, so we're quite lucky to have it here in the clubhouse, to be honest with you. But it's just it's kind of like a showpiece coming in when you walk in through the corridor and see and greeted by that. It's quite an overwhelming piece of kit. That's
Really impressive. Really impressive. What is also really impressive is this over here, which I just love to pieces. And I'm going to try and get in real close here so you can see. Those of you that know your rugby will probably recognise what we're looking at here, but to give it a little description.
So this is is more affectionately known as The Last Word by Bill, the great Bill McLaren. This is all of his notes from his last ever game he commentated on in what it was then the Millennium Stadium, now the Principality Stadium. Wales Scotland game. Scotland won that day 27-22 back in 2002 this was. So it's quite interesting to see the detail and the sort of the lengths that he went to provide the service that he did. This day and age, see a lot of iPads and computer monitors around the place, but this is old school and something we're really lucky to have. Like he's put on the bottom, The Last Word there.
Nice. I'm going to get in super close here so people can possibly see some of that detail. That's magic. Okay. Next thing, let's talk about this, the TV screen. So what do you have on the screens and how do you use them?
So we've got a screen here and a screen in the back room. These are they start off as advertising screens. We've got them on a loop, so it's just an extra sort of option we offer to sponsors and potential sponsors that moving away from sort of programs and the boards on the side of the field. You want to add something on top. So this is a live feed, a live loop in the clubhouse whenever it's open, continually looping around. We've got sponsors on there, past players on there, game photos on there, and we're quite lucky to have a video camera in the club. So that is used primarily for analysis for us, for the players develop. But as you can see on the screen there, we've got videos that we make from each of the games during the season, and yeah, it's pleasing to see for visitors and players alike on the screen, really.
Yeah.
But it's a great tool to have, and we can adapt it to our needs, really. And it's been an overriding success, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I mean, I think all players love to watch themselves on the telly and just pretend that you're not as slow as you appear on the screen. Tell me, how's the club doing this year? How are the teams doing? How are you looking?
Yes, we had our first hit out on Saturday, which went really well. We played Pembroke, who were a team on the rebuild. Really, they've played the last 5-6 seasons in Division 1, decided they needed to come down to Division 3 to build back up. So it was a high quality Pembroke squad coming down to play us. And luckily enough, we've got a referee in the village, Alan Emmanuel, who does ref Championship Division 1 standard. Excellent ref, bringing in the new tackle laws. Obviously, being a referee, he's got to be very stringent. So it was very, very interesting and a well worth exercise for both teams to play under the tackle laws being ref so stringently.
Yeah, and how did you find it?
Obviously, it was the first hit out under them. Very stop-start. I think it touched on 50 penalties for both sides. But the work we've put in during pre-season so far has come to fruition, really, because with feedback from the referee after the game, we're looking at the 80% of our penalties we gave away was for the second tackler and not the first tackler, whereas it was slight reversal for Pembroke, really. They were having issues with the first tackler. So but it all gives us a bit of detail to work on in the upcoming weeks before the season starts, really. But yeah, it's going to be a bit of a roller coaster the first, certainly the first couple of months of the season. That's for all teams, really. They've alluded to they did changes when you couldn't tackle people in the air and the tip tackle. However, this is a different sort of dynamic now. It's the tackle area as a whole. So
it's a fundamental part of the game, isn't it?
Massive, and it changes the way changes every dynamics on the field, the way you play it, the way you defend, what you do with the ball, what you do without the ball, and all that is down to prep work. Yeah, well, I've found personally as a coach the prep that we've had to put in has been completely alien to what the boys have ever done before. But you know, it is the rules. It is coming in. There's nothing we can do about it. It's down to us as sort of grassroots clubs and coaches and players to adapt to it, really. And it's going to be one of them ones where we're going to have to help each other out on it now and again, you know.
Sure. Okay, we've come to a close now. Is there anything else you want to add about the club or the team or anything at all?
No, just we're thankful for you coming along, Tim, and bringing your message across the Furnace United RFC and giving a bit of exposure, really. Again, it's probably been said before, but we're a grassroots club, and grassroots clubs in the recent years, especially COVID, it's been a tricky time for everyone coming out of it. You know, there's been a couple of clubs, unfortunately, South Wales, that we've lost along the way due to it, but it's one of them ones where we've all got to stick together. And you know, it's last season, and the season coming out of lockdown is pleasing to see that home or away, we're always, you know, there's always a big crowd in here, and we always stay for a bit after the games, just, you know, helping each other out, going away trips, bus trips. We usually stop off at one, possibly two rugby clubs on the way back as well. So on the buses, we're in a very local league at the moment. So last season, our sort of core teams, there's only 2 teams outside of a 10-mile radius. So buses this day and age and the cost them. So we've got another team now, Tregaron, who've joined us this year. So that's another bus trip for us. So we've got 3 nailed on. Caerphilly away Saturday. So we look forward to traveling down there. Stop off at a few clubs on the way back and show our faces and have a beer or two.
Fabulous. Right. Thank you so much for your welcome,
Thank
mate.
you.
Really appreciated. Okay, that is Furnace United Rugby Club. Getting on, doing some good things. Lovely clubhouse that can be used for all kinds of stuff, and especially a cheap pint if you fancy it. Don't forget that bit. I'm going to be on my way very shortly now, and it's basically in and around Llanelli all day today, including a visit to the Scarlets around midday. So hang around for that, and we will see you down the road again. Don't forget, for the My Name's Doddy Foundation, we want a world free of MND as soon as we can. For Ed Slater, for Freddie Crisp, see you on the next one.